The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good Monday morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien coming to you live from TFNN. Thanks so much for starting your trading week off right here at TFNN. We got about 24 minutes to go until the start of trading, and we have markets pretty much, I was going to say flat as we were coming on the air, but we got a little bit of a negative downdraft there as we came into the start of the program. We now have the S&Ps off by about 12 points, trading at 51.33. Got the NASDAQ 100 down about 10 points. That's slightly in the red this morning. You got NVIDIA trading higher yet again. We're going to kick off the program with NVIDIA. Quite a run as it continues to kick off this trading week. NASDAQ 100 slightly in the red, off by 10 points this morning. You get the Dow leading the way into negative territory. You're under 39,000. The Dow off by about 0.5% right now. And the Russell, the only major index currently in the green, up by about 10 points or 0.5% in the positive. Can't stop Bitcoin, man. It's not ending. Seems like all-time highs are where we're heading. You hit $66,340 this morning. We're up by $1,700 on the session. You got all-time highs of $69,355 hanging out there. Seems like that's where it's running for on this recent run. Quite the remarkable acceleration. Crude above $80 to start the week as we got a little bit of acceleration to the upside. It's been higher highs and higher lows for the price of crude. We're above $80, and put it on your chart, man. You got to go back to November 7th, folks. You're talking about 4 months ago, okay? Yeah, December, January, February, March. 4 months. We haven't seen crude at these prices. What's that going to do? That's going to complicate the inflation picture as we got higher prices coming at you in the price of crude. We're up by 24 pennies right now, 80.21. The price of light sweet crude. Gold was negative a few bucks when I was getting ready to come on the air, and look at that charge higher, just from 830. Gold up about 10 bucks. We're at 2100 on the dot right now. You back things up for gold. We got the high out there of 2152. The one thing I will say, remember that one tail, okay, that's up there, 2152. That was like a Sunday night futures acceleration. By the time you were trading on Monday, you had given it all up. Okay, this is a little bit of a different story. We're pushing the recent highs in gold. You're at 2100 right now. It's been quite an acceleration from when we were at 2000 on February 14th. And gold looks to trade higher this morning. Silver up by 24 pennies right now, 23.60. And you see the action in silver, right? Excuse me. See how far away silver is from some of the highs versus gold? So gold, been catching those bids. We jump over to notes and bonds. You got a little bit of lower price and higher yield right now. You got the 10-year down about 10 ticks. We're talking about a yield on the 10-year of about 4.23. 4.23 about that yield on the 10-year. We go back to a 5-minute chart. You see the acceleration to higher price and lower yield on Friday. We pull back a bit this morning, giving back some of those gains. We're right back to where we were at about 7 in the morning on Friday. And we jump to the VIX volatility index this morning as the market trades a little bit lower. We almost got a 12 handle on Friday. We start the trading week off at about 1350. All things considered, relatively low volatility premium in this market, as you may expect, as we go one way, higher prices. But guess what? This morning, we're going to kick things off slightly in the red as we're trading down 13 points or about 0.25% in the S&P 500 futures to kick off the trading week. Okay, I said we were going to do it. Let's jump over to NVIDIA, man. It is quite a run, and it is not stopping, man. Look at this thing, right? I mean, look at where we are just from Wednesday. Okay, early Thursday. Wednesday, you're talking about 770 up to 840. That's $70. And you're talking about, what is that, 9% or something from where it was on Thursday? 70 divided by 770, 9.09%. This thing is up just from the lows of where we were at the end of trading on Wednesday. Whew, you talk about it, man. Now, a little bit of a longer-term picture on NVIDIA, okay? We got articles everywhere on NVIDIA this morning, folks. You can't blame people in terms of journalists covering the acceleration that we've had. You're talking about an 8-bagger over the last 15 or 16 months, man. An 8-bagger. NVIDIA was at 108 in October of 2022. Back that up a little bit further. I remember when it was pushing those highs of 346 back from November of 2022. What's so remarkable is there were talks of the bubble then. There were talks of the earnings per share, the multiples that this company had to come into to make those forward earnings per share materialize, and they've done it. And it's somewhat happening again. But I've showed charts last week that actually as the stock price has risen, they've actually brought their earnings per share down. Now, that's going to change from last Wednesday to today when the stock's up 9% from when I was talking about it last Wednesday, okay? But they've been coming into those earnings. We'll see if they can do it again. The one thing I did want to highlight, we've been talking about these A to B, C to D formations. Now, NVIDIA barely had a pullback. Okay, some of these A to B, C to D formations we've been talking about, we've been looking at them on the S&Ps. We're basically completed. Okay, let's back it up for a second, because this is important just for context, okay? For the context of the run we've had and how maybe you get a consolidation, maybe you break higher, but we're at a critical area, right? S&Ps, your A point to B point, 1,000 points, from about 3,600 to 4,600. You pull back to a 50% retracement of that run, and then you do it again, 1,000 points, from about 41.25 up to 51.25, currently where we're sitting just about right now. NASDAQ 100 still has some room to go. That A to B, C to D, you pull back almost to the 382, that would push you to 19,400. You got an extra 1,000 points to complete the A to B, C to D on the NASDAQ 100, but you do see that you got to pull back a 382, okay? Now you jump over to NVIDIA. Barely a pullback, man, on some of these. I'll jump to Meta next. Meta didn't even have a 236 practically on its acceleration. But nonetheless, you're talking about a $400 A to B leg that you did from October to August. So you're talking about 10 months, okay? You pull back a 236. What's so remarkable is how quickly this second leg is completed. I mean, that was quite a rebound from the pullback we got from the Fed tightening. You pull back to a 236, and just like that, folks, from October to basically the beginning of March. So what are you talking about? You're talking about November, December, January, February. In a period of 4 months, it completes the A to C to D leg. That's pointing to the fact that this market might need to breathe a little bit after this acceleration, right? If you had told investors that when you got this slight pullback that, hey, guess what? We have an A to B leg that's $400. It took us 8 months to do. You're going to do it again. You're going to do it in 4 months this time, coming from on the October lows. Do you remember what was happening in that market when we were getting those October lows? Things were looking a little bit dire, and they've turned around pretty dramatically. But we got inflation still at the forefront. And keep your eye on those crude prices, because, boy, they will complicate things if we start having headline inflation start accelerating on the heels of potentially higher crude prices. And when you're sitting at $80, I mean, inflation adjusted, right? What are we talking about? We're talking about pretty affordable crude. Excuse me. Thought I was going to sneeze. Might have shaken it off. Nonetheless, there's your price of crude. We back this up on a monthly basis, okay? And yeah, you know, you take COVID out of the picture. We came into 2020 at a price point of about $60. We're sitting at $80. But nonetheless, all things considered, where we've been, and you back it up to where we've been, right? Since we've been dealing with inflation, okay, and inflation started roaring towards the end of 2021, crude has been a very healthy number for these inflation numbers. As in crude at $80, very healthy. You take out the acceleration we got on the Russian invasion. We'll see what happens, folks. Stay tuned. We got a lot to talk about. We got JetBlue, we got Spirit, we got NVIDIA, we got Apple. We're talking about them all. We'll be right back, folks. Stay tuned. If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years years' experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Welcome back, folks. We got the S&Ps down about 11 points. NASDAQ 100 off by 5. The Dow leading the way in negative territory. You're off by more than 200 points in the Dow right now, trading 38,935. That's more than about 0.5%. We jump around to some of the big dogs. So Apple, they're going to pay $2 billion. $2 billion. They're down $2.50 in the pre-market right now. You're trading at 177.32. Apple really underperforming some of the other companies, right? You look at where Apple is. Apple just back to where you were. What is that, 2.5 years ago? Which is remarkable when you compare it to where this even market is, especially when you compare it to the tech companies. You pull up the NASDAQ 100, okay? Even the NASDAQ 100 is now approaching, what, 10% above where you were at that price point in terms of at that point in time. Apple underperforming to a certain degree, and you're trading at 179.66 so far this morning. And the news out there, Apple, yeah, how about $2 billion? I think it's 1.8 to be exact. 1.8 billion euros, though, which is probably pushing about $2 billion. Yeah, there it is. From the European Union over an investigation into allegations it shut out music streaming rivals, including Spotify, on its platforms. The European Commission also ordered Apple to stop preventing music streaming apps from informing users of cheaper deals away from Apple's App Store. The larger-than-expected fine is the first to be handed out to Apple by the EU, which is like the most remarkable thing I found. It seems like the EU is slapping these tech companies around left and right. This is the first one, and it's about $2 billion. For a decade, Apple abused its dominant position in the market for distribution of music streaming apps through the App Store. They did so by restricting developers from informing consumers about alternative, cheaper music services available outside of the Apple ecosystem. I mean, you can't deny that. One thing that is remarkable, so I have an Apple iWatch that I use all the time. I go on runs, go for a jog, use the watch. I love it. Don't have to bring your phone with you. When you do that, you can still take calls if you have one that offers cell service, right? You add it to your cell plan maybe for $10 a month. I love it because I can go on runs and I can get calls, I can get texts. The one thing that's always interesting, though, is that I have Sirius XM, which I love. I listen to it in the car, I listen to Bloomberg, and you cannot stream Sirius XM on the iWatch. I mean, if I'm wrong, please, somebody correct me in the den. I'd love it. But I'm pretty sure that you are unable to do that, and it's because, what do they want? They want you to use Apple Music, right? No matter what. So, of course, they try and restrict that type of stuff, okay? And, of course, they're trying to make sure that you pay that money through the App Store when they get such a large percentage cut from it. I did find it interesting recently. I signed up for Amazon. So Amazon has a great service that you can back up your photos for free if you're a Prime member, folks, okay? I got like 25,000 pictures on my phone right now. Most, about 24,999 of them are Tommy, of course. So I have to back it up to some degree, okay? And so I back it up with Amazon. Okay, it's the first time I was going to do it. And what happens is Apple has them too, but you want some redundancy in there, folks, okay? I mean, these are pictures that I'll never get back again, right, of my son growing up. I want to make sure that I'm not just trusting Apple to back them up. You never know what's going to happen. Have some redundancy. You can back them up yourself if you want to as well. So Amazon offers this service. It's just one example of how this works in Apple. And so I had paid for that service. So what I did was you back it up, but then Amazon says, oh, by the way, though, you can back up your photos for free, but videos has some type of, and I think it was 3 gigabytes maybe was the limit, or 5 gigabytes was the limit. And they understand. I mean, if you give people backups for videos get pretty large pretty quickly. So what I did was I paid for 100 gigabyte for videos, okay? And it was like $2 a month or something like that. And I paid for it through the App Store, okay? And what ended up happening was that I had too many videos on my phone that exceeded the 100 gigabytes of data that I had paid for. Now, here's the kicker, which I couldn't believe was the way they did it. So they have different tiers of service, and this is Amazon Photos I'm talking about, okay, that you can subscribe to. I think I did 100 gigabytes, thinking that might be enough for my videos. No, it seems like videos are the thing that's taken up all the memory on my photos and videos. It would make sense. So here's the kicker, though. So I said, oh, okay, I guess I need to upgrade it. Maybe I need to pay more than $2 a month. Maybe I need to pay, $5 a month for 500 gigabytes or whatever it is, right? So I go in, and here's what Amazon tells me. They say the only way to upgrade is for you to cancel the service you have, which was just a monthly service, wait until that service ends, which is like March 15th, because I just signed up for it February 15th. And then I have the ability to go back in the photo app and sign up. And I said to myself, you know what they've done? They've figured out that they've trapped people into a way to force them into paying them instead of paying the App Store, right? They figured out that, hey, a lot of people are going to think that 100 gigabytes is a large amount, that they can sign up for the cheap service. They'd say, back up all my photos. They figure out that 100 gigabytes is not enough, and then Amazon tells you the only way you can upgrade is you cancel this service with Apple, you come back, and when your subscription ends, come back to us, upgrade it, and then they cut Apple out of it. It's an interesting way to cut Apple out of the picture, and you're going to see it happening more often, especially with the antitrust coming down, in terms of how different apps, different businesses, right, direct you to pay them directly outside of paying through the App Store. And that's what this is all about. Yeah. Restricting developers from informing consumers about alternative, cheaper music services available outside of the ecosystem. Now, what's so cool is Amazon almost did it in a roundabout way, right? That they're not telling you to sign up initially. They're kind of, but either way, I found it interesting that this comes out today, because I found myself saying, last week, because I was frustrated, because I just want to upgrade, man. I just want all my videos to get backed up, and I can't. I got to wait for that month to end out. That month's going to end out. It's going to end my subscription. Then I have to go back in, resubscribe within the photo app itself, nonetheless. And yeah, Google's gotten a lot of them. It seems like that's when, you think this is remarkable the first time Apple's gotten hit. Google, yeah, $4.3 billion in 2018 and $2.4 billion. Yeah, remarkable. Yeah, and I guess they've been ordered to repay $13 billion in unfair tax breaks. Okay, but that's a different story there. Nonetheless, the EU, their antitrust concerns, they go forward, and Apple's got $2 billion that they're going to have to pay out there. Now, let's talk a little bit in NVIDIA further. We talked about it at the beginning. Boy, you talk about some accelerations, man, for NVIDIA. You check out this chart. I was looking at a chart over the weekend, man, of Intel versus NVIDIA. Intel's getting lapped, man. What is going on with Intel shares? Everyone's getting lapped when you compare it to a company like NVIDIA, but nonetheless, it is remarkable when you see it on the charts. The chip maker added nearly $280 billion in value in just 2 trading sessions, okay? Now, I say that's after their results, but I just went over it. They just added another 9% from where they are on Wednesday. This thing is not stopping, man. A remarkable acceleration. you are over $8 trillion for NVIDIA. It's simple math, folks. They got 2.5 billion shares outstanding, okay? So $800 puts them at $2 trillion. They're going to open $40 above that price point right now. So you're talking about a company that's going to be valued at just like that 2.1. They've added $100 billion over the market cap from when we were just flirting with $2 trillion. Are they going to be the most valuable company in the world? They might. If they continue at this pace, man, we'll see where they go. But they're within a stone's throw, man. You jump over to Microsoft shares. Microsoft, they hit a high of 416.54 in the pre-market. Looks like that's just a tick, though. We were up at almost 416 on Friday. And we check out Microsoft, you're talking about a company that is right now valued at $3.06 trillion. Pretty remarkable. All right, folks, we got the S&P negative by 12 right now. We got 3 minutes to go until the opening bell. Stay tuned. We'll be talking a little bit of JetBlue. We'll talk some Spirit. Their deal falls apart. And we'll take a look at those two equities when we get back. Stay tuned, folks. Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors. Currencies, commodities, and bond markets are as important as ever right now with how they're driving the volatility in equity markets across the globe, which is why it's a great time to try out Teddy Kegstad's Tiger Forex Report. Teddy Kegstad breaks down the Forex markets every Monday using his 30-plus years of experience as a trading veteran of futures, Forex, stocks, and options. Teddy releases his weekly Tiger Forex Report every Monday morning with coverage of all the major currency pairs, including the dollar index, the euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar Swiss, dollar yen, as well as many more, and he also has weekly coverage of the crude oil market and the 30-year T-bonds, as they both influence Forex markets tremendously. When you sign up for the Tiger Forex Report, you also gain instant access to Teddy's 60-minute webinar archive he just hosted, Forex Strategies and Fundamentals, What is Behind the Tiger Forex Report. For all the details and to start your 30-day Tiger Forex Report subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Are you ready to take your trading to the next level? Introducing Tom O'Brien's award-winning newsletter, Market Insights, your key to successful active trading. Tom O'Brien, renowned for his expertise in the financial markets, has designed Market Insights to be your daily guide to profitable trades. Tom publishes his daily Market Insights newsletter every market day before the market open, along with updates when warranted. Stay ahead of the game with Tom's real-time analysis and trade recommendations delivered straight to your inbox. Whether you're a seasoned trader or just starting out, Market Insights provides the edge you need to navigate the markets with confidence. Ready to join the ranks of successful traders? Head over to TFNN.com and subscribe to Market Insights today. Don't miss out on this opportunity to supercharge your trading results. Market Insights comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee for all new subscribers, so you have nothing to risk. Don't miss out on this opportunity to revolutionize your trading game. Head over to TFNN.com right now to join the thousands of traders who have already experienced the power of Tom O'Brien's award-winning newsletter, Market Insights, firsthand. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. We get the markets open. You're looking at the S&P 500 right now. Futures negative by about 9 points as we start off the trading session. All things considered, you're negative by 9, but you're trading at 51.37. The acceleration we had on Friday, man, out of the gate. From 5,090 in the pre-market, you trade up 60 points from the highs of Friday afternoon. You chop around at that price level, And we're just under that price level right now with the S&Ps. We jump to Bitcoin, 66,170. Keep your eye, man. Seems like 69,000 and change, maybe 70,000 in the picture as Bitcoin looks destined to push all-time highs. You got crude back above $80 right now at $80.29. We jump to that gold contract, continuing higher, man. Gold up by $10, trading at $21.05. And yeah, you back things up, man. You know, again, remember, that tail was not really a real tail. That was a Sunday night futures acceleration. We are now at 21.06 on that price level. And some of these tails, let's see, what do we have there? 2078, 2089. You take that tail out of the picture, man, we're pushing all-time highs in the price of gold. 21.06 right now, quite the acceleration on Friday, and gold continuing that acceleration this morning, up by about $10. You jump over to the dollar index. Dollar backing off a little bit, 103.85 right now. It is interesting to see, though, the acceleration that gold continues to have, even in light of where the dollar is. As you know, you're just pushing where you were on Monday, Tuesday, even Wednesday, even Thursday at some point where you were in the dollar. Meanwhile, we got gold pushing all-time highs. You jump over to the 10-year right now, and we got a little bit of lower price, giving back some of the gains that we had on Friday for that 10-year. We jump over to NVIDIA shares, up another 2.25% to $841. And I found that chart I was looking at, and it's interesting, man. They were talking about, who do we have in the den? Our man Jack in the den saying, prior to 9 a.m. this morning, will Intel break out of its slump? Boy, you talk about it. Well, check this one out, Jack, okay? Now, I'm not familiar with this person on Instagram, okay? James CC Eagle? Not sure. Either way, he posts some type of visuals that are pretty cool occasionally. Some of them, my friends share them. And so if Mike and producer can just get this up, it's going to take a few seconds as this chops too, but it's a pretty interesting visual. And on the top here, you have Intel, and it just illustrates how magnificent this run has been, even versus a company like Intel, okay? But Intel's been struggling. I thought it'd be interesting if they put Bitcoin on this chart too, because it correlates to Bitcoin, okay? Because they tell you a little bit about what's going on here in terms of the timing of things. So this has been chopping around for a bit, but what happens, right? The Bitcoin mining starts to really accelerate. We're at July of 2016. You see the market capitalization, okay, of NVIDIA at that point, about 40 billion, 50 billion. Intel's just chopping. They're chopping at 160, okay? It's not going to stop. NVIDIA keeps climbing. You're at 80. I just told you, you're at 2.1 trillion right now, folks. You're at 2.1. This chart has NVIDIA at 126, right? You see the acceleration. Boom, just like that. We're in March of 2018. We're continuing to climb. You're in May. You're at 160, all right? I'm just going to let that chop around for a bit. It is absolutely remarkable, the acceleration we've been in. You have a couple pullbacks, okay? So you have the 2018 Bitcoin crash. Well, that was a problem for Bitcoin processors because they were plowing so much of that Bitcoin mining, right? So you have quite a pullback there. We're going to come into the end of 2019. We're going to come into a little COVID acceleration shortly. We're in January of 2020 right now. There's your COVID volatility, okay? We're now in May of 2020. The rebound has already begun, and just like that, look at the acceleration, man. NVIDIA out of the gates. End of 2020, they're almost double the size of Intel. Well, you give it back a bit. Okay, now you want to talk about some pullbacks, and this is the part I want to get to. You climb to highs. Now, this is before the pullback. Check it out. So you reach a level of about 800 billion, and here's your pullback when the Fed starts tightening. Look at that pullback, man. Look at that pullback in NVIDIA, okay? But what do we know is coming? What do we know is coming? The rebound. And here we go. The rebound begins. NVIDIA, 500 billion. Look at Intel, man. Right? We're all not created equal, man. And Intel, I mean, just even being around this part of the industry, making any type of chips, this is going on a 10-year chart, folks. It began in 2014, and there's your run, okay? And they only have it. Look at this one ended February 22nd. Since then, NVIDIA, and it's only March 4th, is now sitting at 2.1 trillion, right? Absolutely remarkable just visually to see that. Now, looks a little bubblicious, okay, and that's always the verbiage that we're dealing with here. And here's your headline from the Journal. NVIDIA's surge stokes talks of a bubble. Now, it's many times, man. The expectations are sky high, but boy, it seems like, as I talked about in the beginning of the program, their earnings per share has actually been coming down as this stock has been accelerating higher because they have been growing their earnings so dramatically over that period of time, which is remarkable when you put it in that context. Gross profit margin will help. Look at this, man. 75.97%. Call it 76% gross profit margin. Absolutely wild. Yeah. And this is what they talk about, okay? As a result of what they've done, the stock has actually become cheaper by some measures. NVIDIA trades at 32 times its expected earnings over the next 12 months. The 2-year average is 38. The S&P is at 20. I don't know, man. I might like NVIDIA at a 32 times earnings per share versus the whole S&P at 21, right? And that's what you want to keep your eye on this. It is not bubblicious to the degree that we've seen before when you actually have the earnings per share going down versus where it was a year ago. And I like the quote. NVIDIA is talking the talk and they're walking the walk. Yeah. And, you know, that number is a little bit higher today, though, because that number is up again, 2.25%. Look at this, popping again, man. Just remarkable, this company, to put it lightly, right? Okay, what else do we got going on in this market? We talked about JetBlue and Spirit. So that deal is not happening. And the market likes it. They don't like it that much, though. JetBlue up 2.6% right now. And there's your Spirit down 8.8%. It's going to be interesting to see if they survive. One of the things that happened when this deal went south, and that deal went south January 15th, the week of, okay, you drive from 15 down to 3, you're sitting now at 585, is the entire discussion of whether they can even exist if this deal doesn't go through. And here's the complex part of things, right? So they don't let the deal go through. They're blocking it for antitrust concerns. Seem to be legitimate, okay? You got two low-cost carriers. They're going to combine. That's going to hurt consumers as costs would go up. But how does that play out if they block the merger and Spirit goes BK anyway? Doesn't really help consumers. That's the one thing that you're going to see get to play out here as this plays out. Spirit down 8.8% on that news. JetBlue up slightly on that news. We'll see where the day brings us. But nonetheless, that deal not going to happen. And it seems like Spirit, at least, in some tough shape, man. Down another 8.2%. Look at the weekly. You want to see something. Look at the monthly. Dire circumstances on that chart, man. Sitting at 589 for Spirit. Dire for JetBlue as well when you look at it, right? There's your long-term chart for JetBlue, man. I mean, maybe you can make a case that you're catching a bid off the lows, but boy, when you're at $6.71 and that's your bid, be careful for JetBlue shares. Market just chopping around on the open. S&P's down about 10. We're trading at 51.36, and boy, we got a big week, man. So you got Chairman Powell, okay? He's going to be in front of lawmakers on Wednesday and Thursday, and then you get the State of the Union on Thursday on top of that. And then you got a potential government shutdown looming at the end of Friday. We'll talk a little bit about that when we get back, folks. We're going to have some action-packed end-of-the-week action as we talk about Chairman Powell, President Biden, and a possible government shutdown. We'll be right back, folks. Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the opening call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. We got the S&P clawing back some of those losses right now in the opening bell. We got it down just 5 points, about 12 minutes into the trading session, down about 0.1%. NASDAQ 100 down about 16 points. The Dow catches a little bit of a bid on the open, back above 39,000 right now. Russell as well, up by 17 points. And interesting, you take a look at the Russell, right? We're pushing the highs that we had back December 28th, 2097. Russell still got some work to do, man. You want those all-time highs, though? Yeah, you're still, what, $400 almost from the all-time highs we made at the end of 2021 on the Russell at 2,460. We keep our eye on Bitcoin watch. We creep higher throughout the program, nearing 67,000. Did we just hit it? Within $20, 66,980. Crude, above $80 at 80.16 right now. Gold contract continuing higher as well. Made a high at 21.08. And we check in on notes and bonds, just chopping around right now with the 10-year sitting at about 4.23%, the yield on the 10-year. So I mentioned, pretty big week of economic data. We get Chairman Powell. On Wednesday, he'll be in front of the House. On Thursday, he'll be in front of the Senate. Now, when he's done this in the past, Wednesday's really the one that you might get some headlines, because whatever message he wants to convey to the markets, he's going to do it on his first opportunity on Wednesday. And Thursday, if maybe the market gets it wrong or they misinterpret what he's trying to convey, he has the opportunity to correct that. But usually when he makes these appearances in front of the House and the Senate on back-to-back days, the first day is really the one that has some market-moving power out there, as you'd expect. The first time he gets a chance to go to the markets and convey, and boy, it's going to be interesting to see what he has to say. As inflation, we get what? CPI, we get PPI, right? PCE in there as well. We'll see what he has to say about where we go. We have a Fed meeting 16 days from right now. It'll be 2 weeks from when he appears on Wednesday, March 20th. 2 weeks from Wednesday, the next Fed meeting. And no expectations in terms of them changing where they are at all. And I don't expect they will. That would be a shocker. But it will be interesting to see what he has to say about guiding this market. Now, so you get Chairman Powell Wednesday and Thursday. You have State of the Union Thursday night. Really shouldn't matter with the market, okay? But politics nonetheless. You have a possible government shutdown looming at the end of Friday. Maybe they'll get a deal done for that. And we get jobs data on Friday as well, man. We get ADP on Wednesday. Okay, those are private payrolls from ADP, the numbers for February. And then we get the non-farm payrolls on Friday. Now, of course, there's going to be inflation data in there, okay, in terms of wages, right? There's just going to be economic data in there. What if we come in with a big number again on a jobs front? What's going to happen there? So keep your eye on it. We get some pretty important economic data coming down the line this week especially, and you hear from the chairman Wednesday and Thursday. Then we hear from the president with his State of the Union, and then we get the possible government shutdown looming, and you get jobs data, probably the biggest data point of the month, jobs data, Friday for the month of February. Yes, we march on. All right, what else do we got going on in this market? Let's jump around to headlines I had pulled up here. We talked a little bit about NVIDIA. Yeah, how about we'll just jump back to crypto for a second, because Tether, on top of it, everything is surging, man. Tether's stablecoin, $100 billion in circulation. USDT rose 9% this year on the Bitcoin, everything trading higher, as you can imagine, man. But that number hitting $100 billion. And that was at 8 a.m. in London on Monday. And it's just under that number, but everything's surging higher. And that makes sense when you got Bitcoin sitting at about 68,000. Pretty remarkable. Yeah. It makes up 70% of the stablecoin sector. That is Tether. 142 billion is the stablecoin sector. Yeah, one of crypto's most influential businesses. Tough to deny there, man. Yeah, they paid $40 million to settle allegations in 2001 that it lied about the assets inside the collateral pile. Remember that one, okay? Remember that one, man. This is a high-risk business, man, with very high profitable, possible returns, but also very high possible losses, okay? And you never quite know exactly what's going on in the crypto area, folks, if you're trusting somebody else to hold your money. Remember that one, okay? Yeah, to put it lightly. All right, what else do we got going on here? Yeah, how about Dune? This thing is surging, man. 180 million, is that what I saw, I think? Yeah, I saw a number much larger than this in terms of what it was pushing, I thought. But I guess it's 81.5. Maybe they're talking about global. I'll pull this up again, but it seems to be a pretty big hit, man, coming in. Yeah, so IMAX, 23% of domestic ticket sales at IMAX. People are really looking for an experience if you go and see a movie these days, right? Otherwise, you just wait and you see it in the confines of your home on your television when it comes to whatever streaming service is out there. Warner Brothers Discovery, whew, is that on? What is going on here? Anybody know why that's diving? Does it have to do with Dune? I don't think so. Yeah, so Warner Brothers, they're down 4.5%, man, dropping to 828. Yeah, as Dune just soared, man. Pretty remarkable. All right, we jump around to what else going on. They're talking about Tesla in the Tiger's Den, man. Ooh-wee. Watch out for Tesla, folks. Remember, if you get anywhere near $100, and we're well off $100, but you just traded down $10 in the span of like 5 minutes, okay? You get anywhere near $100, things are going to get very, very complicated for Mr. Elon Musk, as he is potentially going to get a margin call for his Tesla shares. And if that happens, he's either going to have to start leveraging his ownership in SpaceX and other companies he owns, or he's just going to walk away from those shares. You don't want that conversation going on, man, as things could get very hairy very quick for Tesla shares. You're down 4.2% to give it to Elon, his favorite number. Tesla. We jump around to some of the other FANG stocks. Look at Apple, man, gives it up on their $2 billion deal with the EU, but everything kind of giving it up a little bit right now. Apple down 2.4%. Now, I say that this is much more than the EU deal because Apple has, folks, 16 billion shares outstanding. We'll call it 15 for simple math. It used to be 16 billion. They buy them back. 15 billion shares outstanding for Apple. So what is that? 10 cents? 10 cents a movement almost gets you 2 billion, okay? And it's down $4.42, folks. That is a hit to their market cap of about $70 billion. So this is much bigger than the EU fine of $2 billion hitting Apple as we get a pullback down by 2.5% for Apple. You jump over to Microsoft shares, they're basically flat today. Amazon, positive by 0.5%. Look at Amazon surging higher, man, right near all-time highs at 188.65, made back in 2021. Amazon, a component of the Dow now as well. Can't hurt them. That always helps a little bit. But up by 0.6%. They catch a bid. We check in on NVIDIA shares. It's not stopping, man. 853 we just hit. Absolutely remarkable. I got to take these A to B legs off, man. We're soaring past it on NVIDIA. I mean, where do we go if that's the case? In terms of you just completed your A to B, C to D. We're pushing above that price level right now. That was about $800 would have brought us there. And we're soaring above it to 848, up by 3.1% for NVIDIA shares. Absolutely remarkable. We jump over to Netflix. basically flat for Netflix shares, down about 0.3. We saw Warner Brothers pulling back. We check in on Disney shares, up about 0.7 for Disney, as we got a negative market to kick things off. S&P's off by 7 points. And we got one more segment, folks. Don't go away. Stay tuned. We'll take a look at some of the other equities that have action on Monday to kick things off. Stay tuned, folks. I'll be back in 3 minutes. Don't go away.
The Gold Report. As a precious metal, gold is still king. It continues to hold the most effective safe haven and hedging properties across the global major trading hubs of the London OTC market, the U.S. futures market, and the Shanghai Gold Exchange. The Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his weekly gold report every Monday morning for subscribers, consisting of coverage of the XAU, HUI, GDX, the dollar, bonds, the South African rand, as well as 25 different mining equities with specific buy-sell recommendations. The Gold Report. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Subscribe to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report newsletter now at TFNN.com.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks, and thanks to our man Duffy in the den. Yes, and Warner Brothers and Paramount. Looks like that deal is not happening, and that's where you get the acceleration there. Reportedly halts merger discussions with Paramount. Warner Brothers down about 4.2%. You see the drop there from 870 to 830. You jump over to Paramount, similar drop. Seemed like the market was liking the fact they might combine, as they both drop on the potential of that merger, down about 4.25% for both of those equities. China. Let's talk a little bit of China, man. Xi doesn't want anyone in his way, man. And even the number two, seems like that's the person you'd worry about most if you want power, right? the first premier in 3 decades not to hold the press briefing at the annual parliamentary meetings, removing a rare platform for investors to learn more about the nation's policy direction as President Xi consolidates control over the world's second largest economy. The country's number 2 official will not take questions at the close of the National People's Congress for the rest of its 5-year term, apart from in special circumstances, okay? And they gather each year until 2027. And this has been every year since 1993. And so they scrap that. And Xi doesn't want anybody interacting with the public, man, except for himself. Yeah, as they're dealing with some woes there, and it seems like an all-risk, no-reward proposition. He says, you know what? Yeah, just cancel that press briefing. Yeah. Nonetheless, you go forward from there. All right, what else do we got? We talked about JetBlue. Yeah, how about this one? We'll finish it up with this one, a little AI. So you got Google-backed Anthropic debuts its most powerful chatbot yet as generative AI battle heats up. It's interesting, man. ChatGPT, they don't have a monopoly on it, but it's pretty close when you think about it. But I'm going to be trying this chatbot, man. It can summarize up to 200,000 words. Okay, that's basically a lengthy book. ChatGPT can only summarize about 3,000, but the kicker is they're going to allow image and document uploads for the first time. You can upload images, you can upload documents, okay? It can analyze those documents, analyze those pictures, answer it with an output. The battle is on, and NVIDIA shares illustrate that, as we'll end it with NVIDIA at $848. Folks, thanks for kicking your trading week off right here at TFNN. Stay tuned. Basil Chapman's coming up next with the Tiger Technicians Hour. Have a great Monday, everybody. See you tomorrow at 9.